Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm your host, Alanna.
I'm Kelsey.
And we are here back again this Friday with y'all for some sea boat water crimes. Yep.
Yeah.
That rolls off the tongue. But
I just called mine overboard, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of dark.
It just makes me think of the old Goldie Hawn movie a little bit. I don't know. She gets pulled onto the boat and maybe Kurt Russell, and she's just a spoiled princess, and she gets rescued at sea. No? Okay.
Well, no. I have not seen it.
It's called Overboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this is going to be an interesting one, but just quickly on the last week's episode, I screwed up putting in the date while scheduling it, so it released half the episode 12 hours early because I put Thursday night instead of, or you know how it is when you're putting midnight on something, and I just fucked up.
Yeah.
I guess I put midnight Wednesday night instead of Thursday night, and then I got up in the morning and was like, oh fuck. That half finished episode fucking came out, and then I had to fix it and make sure it came out on the Friday. So sorry about that. It shouldn't happen again. But we're having some changes are coming to the way we record and stuff too. So we'll let you guys know there might be some small hiatuses and stuff we have to take. So we will be back with your regular scheduled programming once we figure shit out, I guess.
Yeah.
But until then, we're really excited. We're gearing up for our 150th episode. We were just talking about what we're going to do on that and what we're going to do on our Patreon for this month. So don't worry. We've still got a shit ton of content coming out in May because there's 5 fucking Fridays.
Right? You're getting 6 episodes. If you're a Patreon member, you'll be getting 6 episodes this month.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot more than we normally do.
Yeah, so if then we have to take a small break or something, you might forgive us.
Yeah. We'll still be working on the podcast. It just won't be getting released yet.
Yeah, we talked about maybe doing a few episodes off or something. So we'll keep you guys in the loop.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll always be back. I said to Kelsey, we can call it a season mid-season break. I was like,
yeah. You joked that all of that was the first season. I was like, our first season was 150 episodes.
I do know podcasts that do decide to kind of call it seasons, which is kind of cool, but yeah.
I don't know where we do it. Just each year, I guess. I don't know. It'd be weird to break it down.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to categorize our stuff into a season.
True, but you know what it does? If it can allow you to kind of take a break.
Yeah.
Regroup, which
might be we can take breaks whenever we want because we do not want to get burned out.
That's right. We won this show, bitches.
That's all, folks. Good night.
And I want to record, but it's hard. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, what's up with you? How are you doing?
Good. We had some nice off-air Gordo shenanigans where I had to throw him halfway across the room multiple times.
This is true. Yeah, we're thinking about setting up a Gordo cam, a cat cam.
Yeah, I was like, technically, I could probably set up my phone that would be pointed at him so you guys can see him. Maybe one episode I'll do it, and
Nice.
it'll go on Patreon, and it'll be like on super fast forward so you can see his just crazy antics, because it's very distracting a lot of times.
Right, yeah. I just get the snippets as he leaps up when you're
Yeah, you get
mid-sentence
like a
over the laptop.
leg coming into frame, a tail swooshing. I get like a just the full crazy.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, they do be doing that, these pets, though. So tell us about your fur
Yeah.
babies. And
Yeah.
we talk about ours a lot, as you know. Yeah, no, it's been like kind of nice out and get to weed some of my
Yeah.
damn old garden and found that the asparagus thingies I
Oh.
planted last year were returning.
Oh, that's cool. I
I
didn't know
was
you
like,
planted
damn.
asparagus.
I did. I just never knew what to do with it. It just came out of the ground looking a little bit like asparagus tips, and then I just like thought they might get quite a bit bigger, but then they just kind of got longer and more grass-like until I was like, well, I probably should have cut those or ate them. Now they just look weird, like asparagus
Oh.
hay. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I don't
Okay,
really
most of them are
know.
like finger size, but then like when I was weeding, I was like, holy shit, this one's an asparagus, and it's like a foot long. I don't know. They get big. I don't get it.
I think if you leave them, it'll get bigger, but they can get more is it like chewy and stuff if it's gets too
Oh,
thick.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the first thing I planted like that where like when you planted it, wasn't just like a little seed like for the carrots. It like looked like little baby asparagus
Aw,
things.
that's cute.
It's very bizarre.
I'm just picturing them
Um,
with tiny googly eyes for some reason. I don't know why. Just in the garden, like little
Veggie
cartoon
tails.
asparagus. Yeah,
Yeah.
like veggie tails.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. Gardening, it's a journey. It's weird sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll have to take a picture and put it on my Instagram. And you plant people can tell me what to do.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, when we planted, us a friend at work. She's like a green thumb plant lady. Always has these plants at her desk, Paula, and she kept asking people if anybody wanted any extra strawberries or like rhubarb or whatever because she's getting rid of
Yes.
stuff in her garden. Yes, so I planted a little bit of rhubarb too. So
Nice.
pies.
It'll
I don't
take
know.
over. Rhubarb is like, I don't know. I've been trying to kill my rhubarb plant and I have been
Uh-oh.
unsuccessful for 9 years in a row.
I thought it was pretty hardy. I like took it home and didn't plant it right away, and I was like, I better get it in
Yeah.
the ground. But then I'm like, I think it'll be okay, and it's fine.
And if you let it, just don't ever let it get to seed. Like if you don't pick it, it'll like this
Okay.
leaf will kind of fall off and then it'll go to seed. And if the seed
Uh,
spreads, it'll grow in the middle of your yard and it'll be impossible to get rid of.
yeah, that's not ideal. Not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, like it's really annoying. A bunch of it got from somebody's yard into like our alleyway at the house I grew up in, and all down our alleyway it was growing down the sides of everybody's garages, just like these crazy roof. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah,
It's
it's one of
very
those wild
invasive.
asses. I just have it in
Yeah.
like a little planter now, so that it will hopefully won't take over the whole garden because it just
Yeah,
feels like
that's
a
good.
smaller planter.
Yeah, that's good. Because it will.
But
Yeah. Mine's like the size of a rain barrel. Like it's so big around and it
um,
gets so tall, and I tried blacking it out, like covering it with stuff so no sunlight would get through, and it was even had lumber on top of it and it still grew up in between the lumber. So,
that's a survivor.
yeah, and then I had a sidewalk
I'm
block.
a survivor.
I had sidewalk blocks piled on top of it and it grew around that. It's like, "Oh my god."
Like that great
Yeah.
plant you couldn't kill or whatever.
Oh yeah. It's still going. It takes a while to start, and then when it starts, it just shoots up within like a week or two. It goes
Oh,
from nothing
Atlanta.
to crazy.
I just
Yeah.
need something to climb nicely on my trellis, but not necessarily take over everything. My mom's got
Yeah.
the grapes over her front deck trellis now, and it's like, oh yeah, it grows up your friggin' roof, and
Yeah,
the
it
cats run
will.
up and hide in there, and
Mine grew up, it went into the, like, where the power line is. It'll, like,
Mhm.
hang off that and it curls, and then, yeah, you have to be really careful. If
Yeah,
anything's in reaching distance, the little vines will, like, reach for it, and then it'll start growing, and they'll crawl all the way across that.
damn it, they're crazy.
Yeah, they are, they are. But
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, not too much else going on, but we'll get off the ground and talk about some watery crimes, I guess.
yeah,
Watery graves. No, oh, that's awful. What's
yeah,
wrong with me? It is. It's sad. I'm always like, oh, now the crime happens.
yeah.
Uh-oh, is your
Um,
case dark? I mean,
well, I think they all kind of are.
yeah.
This one I found, what did I end up on? It was a cool, actually, kind of website. Um, the website is internationalcruisevictims.org.
Oh my
Um,
God.
and this story, I
Source.
liked it because the stories are submitted by the family. Like, the family is the one that types up the actual story,
Oh,
and it's like the story of, like, their loved one and, like, what happened and everything that they know, and then asking, like, if you have information or whatever.
okay. So they definitely want the victims out there and the stories
Yeah.
out there. Okay. That's cool.
So I read through a bunch of those before I kind of settled on this one. I think it's been covered a few times when I was Googling for other sources after.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't think it's too widely known.
What's
Um,
it called? No. What did you name
but this,
it?
it's just the disappearance of, her name's Annette Mizener. Uh,
Oh, okay. Doesn't really ring a
yeah.
bell.
Yeah, there's not actually a whole lot of information about it, from what I could find. I didn't
What?
really read too much of or watch anything that anybody else had done about it.
Oh, okay.
I found only on one of the sources that actually said that she had actually won the cruise package. Um,
Oh, cool. Like a
yeah.
good for her.
I don't know how she won it. Again, that was only in like one thing I read. Um, but she was 37. She was living in
Wow.
Wisconsin at the time, and she won this carnival cruise to the Mexican Riviera, which I would love to
Okay.
go a cruise through that, or like Mediterranean cruise through
Oh, that'd be epic too. Yeah.
Greece and, oh, everywhere.
Right.
It'd be so nice. Uh, and this was back in December of 2004, so almost
Oh,
20
okay.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, cruising's been around for a while when you think about it.
Yeah. So when she won this package, she decided to take her parents and her teenage daughter along for the trip. And
Oh.
she was married as well. Her husband didn't go on the cruise. I have some stuff, interviews and that kind of stuff I found, where he talks about what happened like after.
Oh my God, this is like already hitting home. She's 1 year older than me. She took her
Yeah.
teenage daughter. Her husband stayed home. I mean, that all tracks because Pat would.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you. Yeah, I've told you he's like afraid of being lost at sea is like one of his big
Yeah.
kind of like phobias. I mean, it's reasonable. Like you always hear the people like the when the wine and crime gals did talk about cruises, they're all like, ah! Which they're like,
Yeah.
it's not that they're not safe, but like it's just like well, like I don't know. Other times when you're on vacation, you're just at a higher risk for like
Yeah,
crime
you're
and
in an
stuff
unknown
sometimes.
place with
Yeah,
strangers.
exactly. It's like more like risky behavior could go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So December 4th, 2004, it was the last night of the trip. It seems like they were there for some stuff said a week. Other things said it was day 9. So I'm not exactly sure, but this was said to be the last night. And they were bound for Long Beach the next day, and they were currently near Mexico. So they were on their way back to port for the last time.
Okay, heading up the
And
coast of California. All right.
yeah, some things said that Annette had spent the day like with her daughter doing karaoke, but on the website, that International Cruise Victims one, it looked like it was mostly typed up by Annette's mother. And some of the stuff said like I, and some of it was a little confusing. But other things said that she had spent the day with another passenger, and she was spotted having maybe consumed 2 or 3 drinks the whole day. So like over the course of the whole day. Her mom said that she had actually been part of a group that had won a treasure hunt. And she had been like very participatory in that, and it had also included, that treasure hunt had included snorkeling. So like she wasn't drunk enough that she couldn't like win a treasure hunt basically that included like swimming and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay, so she won the cruise, meaning in a contest, but this one she like participated in it and
yeah,
won
this is
it,
some sort of like treasure hunt that happened
and she
like
like
the
came in
last
first
day of the
place.
cruise.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it was part of a group that the group won.
right.
Yeah.
I thought she was just like winning things left and right. And then she got to win to
No.
participate in this treasure hunt, and like,
No.
I gotcha. Okay, but like, yeah, there's like lots of activities on board, so that makes sense. That sounds
Yeah, so
fun.
they're saying, because later on the cops are trying to say she was like very intoxicated and stumbling around and
Oh,
all this stuff,
yeah,
and her mom's like, no, it wasn't like that.
right.
So
I
Annette
can
was
see why their
last.
minds would go to that being on a cruise, but like, just you can't just
Yeah,
assume that.
right. Annette was last seen about 9:30 p.m. She was seen speaking to a crew member inside of the casino, and the two of them were also talking to an elderly gentleman who is described as wearing a tuxedo, and it said that he was a seasoned cruise ship traveler. So he's just like
It's very
so
dapper.
fancy. Yeah.
It must have been a fancy dinner night.
Yeah, I don't really know what that was about, but
I mean, they typically have like one or two fancy dinners a cruise that you have to bring some sort of a, dress up
yeah.
outfit for, I guess. That's all I know. But
So this crew member that she was speaking to had actually been calling out the bingo numbers at 2 of the prior games held during this cruise, and 2 of
okay.
those games Annette had actually won. Um,
Okay, so she is a
so
lucky little bugger.
maybe.
I mean,
um,
obviously
yeah.
we know that not that lucky, but
But yeah,
yeah.
I guess she would. She won 2 games of bingo and a treasure hunt. So
Cool.
she was kind of viewing this crew member as a little bit of a good luck charm.
Hmm.
And even though he was not planned to be the one calling out the final bingo game of like that night, um, there was like a joke that he should come sit beside her so that he
Okay.
could still be like her good luck charm. So they were, I guess,
Sure.
talking about that.
Blow on her
It's
dice.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9:30,
Or
but they're in the casino. Um, and this was going to be the largest prize of the evening. So, although the crew member was seen talking to her at 9:30, just half an hour before the bingo game would have started, neither the crew member nor her Annette ever actually showed up for the 10 o'clock p.m. bingo game.
Oh, that's ominous.
Yeah, right. It was noted that in order to get to the bingo hall, you had to enter through the casino, and like she had been spotted at 9:30 talking to that crew member in the casino, so she was like partway on her way to the bingo game when she
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeesh.
And it wasn't until Annette failed to show up at the bingo that evening that her family knew something was wrong. Like she wouldn't have missed it.
Yeah. Other
and
than
they
that, you're just
started.
like on board. It's a big ship, you know.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how big it was, or how many passengers or anything like that, but the
Hmm.
Carnival cruises I think are pretty popular,
Yeah.
um, especially
They're
through the Mexican
affordable.
Riviera.
Yeah.
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 So her family starts searching for her, but there's no sign of her aboard. They did eventually find her beaded purse um, that was next to a 3-foot railing on one of the lower decks, and they found this about 11 p.m., so like an hour later. And some of the
Oh.
beads looked like they were missing, like they had been ripped off. And her family actually said that she would have avoided that particular deck as it was a designated smoking deck and she didn't smoke, like, so she wouldn't have gone down there.
Yeah, I guess not. See
Yeah,
no reason to, especially if it bothers you.
yeah. Because some of the beads on the purse were missing when it was found, there was also a passenger or the passenger who found the purse, thought that was strange and also stated that one of the only security cameras nearby had actually been covered up. So he thought that was
Ugh.
strange. Yeah.
Purposefully with something they could tell.
It
Okay.
seems like it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh so from the internationalcruisevictims.org website, this is like what Annette's mother had typed out. Um which I thought was kind of interesting. This is very much like from her point of view and what they told her and like how they kind of investigated it or dealt with it.
Hmm.
Yeah, cuz there's some weird stuff they do. It's She said the cruise ship personnel had two different stories regarding the number of drinks that Annette had consumed. The bartenders tracked the drinks consumed by those affiliated with the Hilton's groups, which was Annette's group, and had actually signed the patron's name to those individual vouchers, not requiring the patron's authorized signatures. So, like,
Hmm.
they weren't having the patrons fill out the drink vouchers, I guess. They were doing it for them. So that was one way, like, they were trying to say, oh, yeah, like, they said she had this many drinks, but she wasn't the one actually signing.
I mean, I'm a little confused because it seems like
Yeah.
when you run a tab or something's going to get charged to your room, you only really need to sign once, not
Yeah, I
like
don't
every
really know.
time. Hmm. Okay. I don't know how
The
their
crew
vouchers
member,
work. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know. The crew member later lied to the FBI 3 times about what time he was speaking to Annette at. This is the one that was seen with her in the casino.
Oh.
The FBI failed to question the couple who had seen and overheard that 9:30 p.m. conversation between Annette and the crew member. Um, this is a little out of place, but the FBI has not looked at any of the evidence, DNA, in over a year. This was back in like 2005, which still remains in the laboratory. When the FBI came to my house to question me, they specifically told me that they suspected foul play. Now they state that this may not be true. Um, she says
Okay.
without,
So just giving them the runaround and not giving you any
yeah,
information. This is that
uh,
was the husband, then I'm guessing.
no, this is all the mom. Like,
Oh,
this is
sorry, the
what she
mom,
typed
right?
on that website.
Oh, okay, right.
She said, without questioning key passengers, looking at the evidence, the simple fact that the camera was deliberately covered up, her shattered purse, all of this is totally absurd. Family, oh, the family has been unable to get access to any security footage, and one of the cameras was covered up actually by a map of the ship. Like, it was cut. There was like a map of the ship was like plastered over the
Oh,
camera.
I
It was a
wondered what
little
was
weird.
covering it, but I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
I can see how
she
it'd be
said,
something you might have quick at hand.
yeah, it was a little weird. I was like, what do you mean? Like,
Like there must be so
yeah.
many pamphlets because like when you go to like Disneyland or whatever, they're like, here's your
Yeah.
little map. Then you
Yeah.
know how to get from Toontown to Tomorrowland or whatever.
Yeah. Um, she says that the captain did not drop rescue boats or turn the ship around for approximately 2.5 to 3 hours, and only did so upon being ordered to do so by the Coast Guard. Um,
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah. There's like no other follow-up about them like searching the water, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that sadly seems to be more often the case than not.
Yeah.
You're like,
Um,
there should be better protocol.
yeah. This was the only place I saw this mentioned. It said a cup given only to children and cruise members was found in the area. Um,
Okay.
a pen and a pad of paper were found in the area. Annette would have used this to document a potential client's information and provide this to me upon return from the cruise. So she was like networking. I can't remember quite what she did. It didn't really say, but
Okay.
it seems like at least some point she like kind of worked with her mom and was like trying to network a little bit on the cruise. She said that
Sure.
Annette had already collected other names and numbers of potential clients, which were found among her belongings that her parents brought back with them. Missing was the notepad.
You never want to miss an opportunity to network. And you're like, especially
Yeah.
if you get your own little business or podcast or whatever, you gotta like promote yourself, or else who else will?
Yeah. She said, why was Annette's purse, this is a little weird, why was Annette's purse removed from the scene, taken to a room, later returned, and placed in the original location? Why was it wiped
What?
clean? Yeah, I don't find reference to this anywhere else. Why was it wiped clean to remove fingerprints? To the best of my knowledge, there were no pictures taken of the crime scene despite the presence of Carnival's highly trained security personnel.
And this is again from the mom's
Yeah,
perspective.
that's like what she
Huh.
typed out.
So she's
Yeah, so I'm like,
implying
some
that
of
that
it's like
purse
seems
was
third person,
moved.
then some of it she's like talking directly. I'm like, it
Right.
was a little confusing to figure out.
Well, that's just confusing if the purse was just moved around in general too. It's like,
Yeah, I
what?
do have a little bit because the guy that found the purse, he was later interviewed. I have a little bit.
Ew.
I quoted some of the article that he talked about that. Because he said like from the time he first saw the purse to when like everybody else got involved was like an hour or a couple of hours, and he said like at least hundreds of people had like walked through that area already. So,
Oh no. It's just so high
yeah.
traffic everywhere. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
problem.
Um it said Annette's parents, daughter, and a couple of other passengers were among those responsible for finding the beads, the purse, blocking the cleanup of the crime scene to ensure it was roped off, and demanding that the crew clean out the gutters where they had been sweeping everything from the deck. Um, that was like pretty much how the article ended, like from her mom.
Yeah, well, that's scary to think that you're the only one that's trying to preserve the crime scene because it's your loved
Right?
one and you're the only one that believes it's a crime scene so far.
Yeah.
Ugh. It just breaks my
Um,
heart every time. Yeah, like parents have to be the ones that are like fighting and doing the work and like, I don't know.
yeah. So this is Annette's husband, John, that wasn't
Okay.
on the cruise. So this is what he had to say when he was interviewed in 2004, just a few days after Annette's disappearance. And this was from ABC News. Um, their article said that the cruise line had issued a statement saying Carnival extends its sincerest concern and sympathy to the family and loved ones of the missing guest. And this I thought was such a slap in the face. Such occurrences, while rare, are very upsetting to our company and our employees. It's like,
Great.
what about the family? Like, fuck you.
Yeah, those are tough. Those statements, I wouldn't want to have to write them. Because they do get picked
Yeah.
apart, but like, yeah, I'm sure there's
But it's like
something
you
else
have
you
our
could say.
sincerest concern and sympathy, but they're also very upsetting to our company employees. It's like,
Yeah, why aren't you
well,
talking more about how it affects the family or what you are doing to help the family
yeah,
that you should feel responsible for? Like,
yeah.
rather than
So her
how it
husband,
affects me.
right?
Oops. Yeah.
Um, So her husband said, all we're looking for is if anybody, um, she's too magnetic. Somebody must have seen when she left the room. It was like a weird quote. Somebody knows something and just please come forward. It said that the ship's crew launched a room-by-room search of the Pride after, that was the ship name, after Annette's daughter Danielle and other passengers noticed she was missing. Her purse was located near the railing of one of the ship's lower decks. Coast Guard aircraft and a Navy ship also joined in the 16-hour search for Annette before the FBI began its investigation. But, like, there isn't anything, like, really that they did. It's weird.
That's so hard and frustrating with these cases. You're like, do they look, overboard? Like, where did they look in the water? Where was the ship when they noticed she was missing? It's all these questions.
Yeah.
Must be so hard for the investigators.
Yeah. Authorities believe Annette fell or was pushed overboard, but there are no witnesses to the incident. Suicide is considered unlikely, although she filed for bankruptcy shortly before her disappearance. Her loved ones stated she was not depressed.
Okay.
And an extensive search of the ocean turned up no clues as to her whereabouts. Their article said that she was declared legally dead in July of 2005. She has a daughter and a son, and had adopted 2 additional children shortly before her disappearance.
What?
Which is really sad.
So now he's a single dad of 4?
Yeah.
I thought she only had 1 kid. Oh, because she was a teenage daughter, so the daughter's like almost on her own. But
yeah,
God
I think the daughter must have been the oldest then.
That is so sad.
It said that she had got a bachelor's degree in marketing from Upper Iowa University, and she and her husband ran a business together, Ideal Health and Bioessentials, which sold dietary supplements. I think that was why she was trying to network.
Oh, okay. So she's an entrepreneur, and Gordo's an asshole.
Yeah, he is.
A fuzzy little asshole. Okay.
Said that Annette Mizener's case remains unsolved. Her family believes foul play was involved in her disappearance. And it said in November 2005, her husband sued Carnival Cruise Lines for over $15,000 in damages.
Damn.
That was all ABC News had to say about it. I couldn't find many articles or anything about this.
Wow.
One of the
crazy.
Only other things I found that I thought was kind of interesting was from that gentleman that actually was the one that first found Annette's purse.
Okay, yeah.
He was interviewed. I don't exactly know when this was. I think this was just over the phone, but I found it on charlieproject.org. And yeah, it said that, quote, a man aboard the cruise ship from which Annette Mizener disappeared a month ago. Okay, so this was fairly recent too then. Says he's the one who found an array of her belongings on a deck, and that he witnessed a security camera covered with paper near those items. Michael Gaither of California said he was surprised the FBI never contacted or interviewed him because he was one of 3 people who knew firsthand where the items were found. He said he also sent the FBI and Carnival Cruise Lines a detailed account of his observations, along with times. And then he apparently sarcastically told them on the phone, I consider myself sort of kind of a suspect. Which is weird.
Well, I just hate how they're not seeming to take looking into it by talking to the guy, the witness, the main witness,
right?
Where her stuff was found.
It said Annette went missing after traveling back to Long Beach, California, From Mexico, a Carnival spokeswoman has said crew members found her purse on a deck that night, and a search for Annette on the ship and the surrounding waters failed to locate her body. The FBI is still investigating the disappearance, and an agency spokeswoman declined to comment about Gaither's observations. Gaither, who provided documentation to the Freeman confirming he was a ship passenger, said he discovered her purse when he went onto the deck to smoke a cigarette. Because that was the smoking deck.
That's right. And why was it on the smoking deck? And was anything taken out of it? Like, what else do we
Yeah,
know?
I
It's
think
like
that's what her
nothing.
mom was talking about, like that notebook that was maybe missing. It seems like it was
Oh,
missing.
okay. With the
Yeah,
client information.
yeah.
I just
He
don't see
said,
how that's any motive. It's weird.
yeah, like it doesn't seem to be any motive. It's just weirdness. He said that he noticed the purse at about the same time as two nearby security personnel, who then came out and searched it to identify the owner. He left the area of the ship and returned about 15 minutes later. When he returned, he said that the area had not been taped off, and the first thing he noticed was a security camera covered with a piece of paper, which he described as a brochure that was possibly wet and draped over the camera. So, like you said, it was like intentionally draped. It wasn't accidentally placed there.
Yeah.
He said a lot
How,
of
yeah, how would that get up there?
yeah. Um, Apparently this whole thing about the camera being covered, he said a lot of people have been saying it's a rumor. It's not a rumor. I saw it myself. Uh, he said he also noticed nearby an emergency strobe light out of place on a buoy ring, with some sort of note or piece of paper tucked onto the ring. He also noticed an
Hmm.
overturned glass and a pen. He informed security and left the area, he said, only to return again about 15 minutes later. Um, it was that point he ran into Annette's 17-year-old daughter, Danielle, who was at the scene, quote, looking around. When he came back, at that point, another teenage boy was helping them search the area, and he climbed a ladder and observed beads from the purse that were spread all over the ground where the bag was first found.
Hmm. Almost
Yeah.
like signs of a struggle or that it had been ripped away, maybe.
Yeah, because it sounds like the purse wasn't damaged or falling apart or anything before this, and now there's all these beads
Like the way
everywhere.
the pleather on my purse is just ripping off. I need a new one. Yeah,
Right?
I see what you mean. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's like something had to have ripped those beads off. Was she there at
yeah.
the time still? That's what we need to know. It's like so many
Um,
questions.
yeah, I don't have too much more. Gaither said he was frustrated. It took security several hours to rope off the area, and he estimated that a couple hundred people had walked through the vicinity after the discovery of the purse.
Wow. And he's just a bystander. Like,
Yeah,
if
he's just
he's
trying to help.
frustrated, like, holy shit. Sorry.
A Carnival spokeswoman handling media inquiries about the disappearance, Jennifer Dela Cruz, didn't return phone calls Wednesday and this morning. Snap. Maybe she never
Ugh,
did at this point. Uh,
she's ghosting you.
yeah. Annette's family members, including her husband John, have not commented for weeks on the disappearance. Um, but again, I read that article. That was just a couple days. So I don't know why this, that's a month later, says that he hasn't commented.
Okay.
Um, there was a Reverend Rick Keeley. Um, it seemed like he was kind of helping. Um, he was like a family spokesman, I guess. He said that
Okay.
I quote, I guess John doesn't want to get involved every day with somebody saying this or that. We're trying to give him some time to face the facts. And then they had
Yeah.
like just a email address that you could send information to. But yeah, that's everything I could dig up other than people covering the case. Like, There is not much out
Wow.
there. Uh,
That's one of those you want to cover as much for the, I don't want to say mystery and sound like disrespectful, but as for like every other person that talks about it or gets it out there to however many people, it could actually still help, which is so crazy. After 20
yeah,
years? Ugh.
yeah.
Like she didn't have any fights with anybody. Like when I covered
No,
the guy when his wife and he went missing, there was like some
it's like
drama maybe
the
beforehand.
and
Like,
wasn't there blood and stuff? Didn't they find like the outline?
yeah, big old blood stain, and then people had heard like
Yeah,
noises in the cabin the night before, like figured there was a fight, things like that. Whereas this one is just like disappeared without a trace, basically.
yeah, but it's weird because she's headed to the bingo game. She's in the
Yeah,
casino talking to her quote unquote good luck charm that's a crew member, and they're like
yeah,
heading
and no
into the
one
bingo
else.
game. And then
Yeah.
in like less than half an hour later, she fails to show up. That crew member also never shows up to bingo. That's what I find super
Oh yeah,
suspicious
could they
is that
never find him to talk to them? To talk to him or that
they
person?
apparently they never cared. Like, um, I think they talk about it at one point that they like interviewed him or something, and they're like, yeah, no. Like, they just interviewed a bunch of the crew. And it's like,
And
well,
sadly, that is not that surprising with cases like
yeah.
these. There's another semi famous one. I want to say the girl's name is Amy, and she's like seen talking to I think like she was quite young, and then she was, yeah, talking to the crew members at one of the bars or teen clubs or
Mm,
whatever, and
yeah.
like he was showing some interest in her and
Mm,
whatnot, and then I think he was one of the last ones she was seen with, and then it's just like,
jeez.
well, like bark down that tree then, like until something shakes out, like,
Yeah.
you can't just not grill all the people just because, oh, there's so many different people that work and like come and stay on a cruise ship. It's like, yeah, that's what these criminals and like people take opportunities, crimes of opportunity,
Yeah.
with. They're like, well, this could be
I'm not
easy.
sure if like um that's what her like mom was trying to say. She doesn't say
Oh,
like crew
maybe.
members. She says like that cup or whatever that's given only to children and cruise members was found in the area. So,
Which near her purse, which is the only thing they found.
yeah.
Okay.
Um
Yeah, it's
yeah,
still
and
a
a
lot of
pen and
clues to
pad of
go on.
paper were found.
Oh.
Like, yeah. Yeah, it's just a little
I hate
weird.
it.
Like, why, if she's on her way to the bingo game, that she's excited because she's already won twice before, and she has to enter through the casino, walk through the casino to get to the bingo hall. She's in the casino on her way to bingo, and somebody
Right.
lures her in the total opposite direction, and then she disappears.
Well, something
Like,
had to have happened between the casino and getting to the bingo.
yeah,
And it's unfortunate that she wasn't with any of her other traveling companions or anything.
yeah. Yeah, it sounds like they were just waiting for her in the bingo hall and
Oh, right
assumed
there,
she was
right
on her
there.
way. Yeah, I think so. Maybe not her daughter. I'm not sure if her daughter would have been able to go through the casino, but um
Right.
yeah.
Well, you said you put a
Yeah,
picture
it
up.
was yeah,
Sorry.
she's got like nice like medium length blonde hair and a nice smile. She
Okay.
looks really friendly and she looks
Yeah.
happy. I
Yeah, she
mean,
looks like a joyful person.
some of
Um,
those bingo prizes they do on cruises are huge. I worked with a girl, her and her husband won
oh,
$50,000 on it. So, and
holy
then
shit.
they had to almost immediately disembark the cruise because they got harassed by all the other crew like passengers. So they basically had
That's
to
fucked up.
use their money to pack everything up and book flights home and disembark at the next port.
Holy shit.
So, yeah.
Like, that's something that you do hear of in different true crime cases where, like, you win the lottery. Yeah, you can become a target. But, like, come on, you're all on a cruise
Yeah.
ship together. So, okay, yeah, everyone's in the room and sees them win. But, like, still, have some dignity,
Yeah.
people. They're just trying to have a freaking vacation just like you were. If you could won, you wouldn't want that to happen to you. Like, they have the 50-50 at the friggin' NHL games here, right? They can get to be
Yeah.
huge cash prizes, but, like, you put a couple bucks in, like, you might win, you might not, but, like, I don't think they're chasing people down in the freaking parking lot once they hear who wins. Like, that's
I
crazy.
hope not. I hope not. Yeah.
No, we haven't had any crazy riots here. That only happened in Vancouver after the last time they lost the cup. um,
Yeah.
but we won't go there because we're playing Vancouver in the finals right now in the playoffs, and it's 2-1. It's not. It's dicey.
I'm not following it, so I have no
I knew
idea.
you wouldn't be. That's why I had to.
That's blissful ignorance.
It's, you know what? It's Pat's favorite team versus his favorite backup team.
Oh, snap.
Ooh, who's he gonna cheer for once if they knock? Well, yeah, if the Oilers get knocked out, he usually cheers for the Canucks. But if the Canucks knock the Oilers out, well, then he might be mad at them. Who
Yeah.
knows? Anyway. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate that as much as the other one I heard where somebody disappeared off a cruise ship and the only thing they ever found was like one flip-flop of hers or something
Oh,
by like the
jeez.
pool. And there's just like this is,
Oh.
yeah, it's just so frustrating. There's no other like answers, and then like the only explanations people have are stupid ones that don't make any sense. Like, oh, a rogue wave took them or something. Like, what is the explanation in your case? Like, she's just gone. Like, obviously it's foul play
Yeah, well,
because
like they
where
tried
else would
kind
she
of
be?
going along the ways that she was drunk and fell, and that's why her mom's like, no, she was like with her daughter with other people and she won the freaking
Yeah.
treasure hunt. And then they were like, oh, she committed suicide. And it's like, she was on her way to bingo, which she had won twice, and she had just run her treasure hunt. That's not really.
Well, oftentimes that would be the easiest answer for some people to believe
Like,
because then it's
why would
closed
you invite,
case.
like, you win a cruise, why would you invite your mother and daughter if you were planning on killing yourself during that cruise?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that
no, yeah, that
that
totally
also
makes
would
no
be
sense.
so upsetting.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But you know, it's
yeah,
if it would be easier for the say the cruise line to believe that
yeah.
she offed herself than to have to think they'd
Just
have to.
because somebody files
Yeah.
for bankruptcy does not
Yes,
mean
that sucks, but
that they're gonna kill
I
themselves.
yeah, I've struggled with finances, still struggle with finances, and it can be very, very depressing and stressful, but doesn't mean like you have no fucking joy in your life or that like you're
Yeah,
contemplating suicide or have suicidal ideations. Like that's
yeah.
yeah, she showed no signs of that.
No, it didn't seem like it at all. Yeah,
That's frustrating and I hate it. Um,
yeah.
I'm also just like still confused as to who or what. I just think it must have been some sort of crime of opportunity then. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really weird. Like, and there's
Yeah, like
not a lot of information. It's basically like these three points of view: the mom, then the
yeah,
information we get from the husband, John, and then the information we get from this Michael guy that found her purse. Like,
right. And her
that's
husband wasn't even
basically all that's
there.
out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How frustrating for him. Oh yeah, she'll be fine. She's going on a cruise with her mom and stuff and her daughter. Like
Yeah.
what? That's really very upsetting. Um, hopefully somebody comes forward with some information someday. That's the only way it'll get solved, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like they did anything to like investigate or try and like rope off the crime scene and keep anything from getting tampered with.
Yeah, there was definitely some major failings there, but then what has the FBI done with it since, if they're still involved
Right?
or were
I have
involved?
no
Yeah.
idea. I didn't find any updates from what the oldest article I saw was like a month or so after. And then it's just
That's
nothing.
very frustrating. I ended up like writing some about the first couple I looked up, spoiler, and like there was, yeah, it was also more recent than yours was, the one I initially looked up, but then I ended up like switching gears because I was just like, I can't find anything, and like I don't
Yeah.
know. So it's like, but but that was from a case that happened like earlier this year. It's like, there's
Yeah.
still no information on this one from 20 years ago. Like, what the fuck? Also,
Yeah.
how's 2004 20 years ago? Oh my god, it's crazy.
Almost 20 years. I think it was in December, I said. So, not
Okay,
quite, but very
fine.
close. But I realized too, like in telling you it, that her daughter is now her age. Like her daughter's now 37.
Oh, and she's been without her
Yeah.
mom for almost 20 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I feel for the most in those cases. Just the family just not knowing. Like,
Yeah, like I would be sick with it. It would bug me all day
mhm.
every day. Like
Yeah,
I
it
don't
becomes
know
some
how.
people's whole life purpose after that, where they're just like
Yeah.
advocating for like their kid or like other people's, possible victims and shit like that, and that's all they can do.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I need a quick break because that was
Yeah.
depressing.
Right?
Um,
Yeah.
and that's just the way these crime ones go, isn't it?
Most of the time, yep. Unless
Yeah,
it's like the petty crimes or the
exactly.
Florida man.
Oh, yes, I had not logged into our social media in a while, and I had missed a message on one of our group ones there from like the Darkcast or whatever. Someone was looking for Florida Man episodes to put out on
Oh.
their feed, and I had missed it by a couple days. I was like, "Oh, this post was from Friday. Damn it, we have a Florida Man episode."
Oh.
Oh well. Um, next time, next time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be right back. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed that case and the little break, and you're mentally prepared for some more.
Yeah. For round two.
I know we don't put like a trigger warning in our intro of every show, but I always assume with true crime that people just kind of like know it's there.
Yes. Yeah. And if,
I listen to a crime show, I'm like, yeah, okay, you're gonna talk about murder.
yeah, like take responsibility for recognizing if you can't handle something and turning it off.
Take responsibility for your own listening consumption. Don't yell
Yeah.
at us. No, no, nobody ever yells at us. I actually want to have more listeners just so someone can yell at us. So yell at your friends.
So we can be like crimes
Keep.
and consequences, that they read the worst reviews that they get, and then they give, you know
Oh,
what, you get 1 star, you get 1 star, and it's like
Creeps and Crimes did that too on their Patreon while taking shots. I was telling you. Oh my god, they both had
yeah,
the same sort of thing. I
they do it
always listen to.
almost every episode, especially
Oh,
when
that's
it's been a real
cute.
shitter. They read like at least a couple of them.
Oh, I like that. I do kind of like
uh
when people lean into it and stuff like that, and like it's funny.
yeah, they'll be like, oh, this person has a really annoying laugh, oh, this person always says this, and they're like, well, that's just who
Yeah.
we are.
I mean, it's true. That's the kind of shit you get when you put your voice out there. Then people are gonna know all your words that you say all the time, like and like, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're,
I love that.
what do they call those? There's specific words. Is it like,
Um, crutch words or
yes, that's what it is.
filler words,
I
maybe.
think it's
Yeah.
crutch words, like something like that.
Well, yeah, but yeah, we do say that one a lot. I've seen our
Yeah.
transcripts. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, but yeah,
No,
definitely.
yeah.
I can't start
Yeah,
a sentence
no,
without
no,
saying
yeah.
it. The things they try to teach you when you like take public speaking courses, they're like Toastmasters or whatever, or such as the Toastmasters course, I could say. They tell you to take those words out, but I am who I am. I did almost listen to a Crimes and Consequences. I feel like it came up on my Spotify and I was like, I should try that.
Mm.
And then like, I didn't.
I haven't listened in a little while because they've been on a few different hiatuses. They've had some personal stuff
Okay.
going on, so they aren't releasing nearly as many episodes the last few months. So I've been
Okay.
rationing them a little bit, taking
Yeah.
some break.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're not a diehard fan if you don't listen to everyone as soon as it comes out. I'll build up episodes of different ones and then listen to a few in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, so gather round, my spooky friends, for the tale of retired California couple, the Hawks, Tom and Jackie.
Hawk, like the caca. I
Yes,
thought that would
because
sound
it.
so much more majestic than it actually did. Ah, ah. I don't know.
It just sounds like Arrested Development when they all start doing the chicken dancing. Caw, 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 caw. They all do terrible impressions of chickens. Um, yes, it's the Hawks, a la, Tony Hawk or something. Or
Okay.
it's spelled Hawks, so I guess, it's not like
Hawks?
Tom Hawk and whatever. It's Tom Hawks.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were called the best example one could ever hope for of how couples should treat each other by one Carter
Aw,
Ford, a friend of the Hawks. They were just
that's
totally
really
devoted.
sweet. I
Yeah.
like that.
So, yeah, that should give you an idea of how this is gonna go. And
Yeah, I was gonna say about how depressing this is gonna be.
they clearly light up every room they are in. They are pillars of their
No!
community. Like,
God damn it.
they're not gonna last. Oh.
Fuck.
No, but they do look like a really loving couple, and I did include some pictures because
Oh yeah, you told me you did, and then I closed all my tabs other than this one so excitedly.
she was like, "I'm done my segment."
Close everything!
Like Tom himself could be like a Tom Selleck. He's got like a mustache.
Okay.
Like there's a very 80s vibe, and he's very well built, we'll say. So yeah, I get the
Oh
appeal
wow.
there,
Sorry, the
Jackie.
first picture I saw is of him shirtless. I just was not expecting it.
With his son, because that's such a cute pic.
I don't know, it says grandbaby.
Mm. Yeah, they're holding the grandkid, and he's shirtless in that picture, because why not? Sex appeal. It doesn't go away with age.
I mean, he clearly works out. Good for him.
Right? No, he's very chesty. Um,
Yeah.
Tom was a probation officer, and Jackie devoted her life to being a stepmom to his two sons, because they met when he was a single dad to his two boys, and they got married in 1989.
That's nice.
Just like so hot. That dad shit. That DILF.
Here's Oh, yeah, I see which one you're talking about. The Tom Selleck mustache. The
He's a
surfing
very
picture.
80s mustache. And they got married in 89.
Wow.
There's some, yeah, super Miami Beach vibes going on.
Yeah, definitely.
um, then, when Tom finally retired, they sold their Arizona home and bought their dream boat, which was called the Well Deserved.
That's fun. I like a good boat name.
Right? I know. I'm like, chef's kiss. And you're like, could I call it after my wife? No, just it's for both of us. It was a 55-foot yacht, and life couldn't have been better on board. This couple, they loved adventure and were just like those kind of outdoor water loving people. Their son, whatever, son Ryan said that some of his best memories with his dad are on the water.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Oh, water's, yeah.
Because
Well, he puts it good here. Sorry.
I'm sure being like a probation officer can give you a really like negative outlook maybe on life. So
Yeah. He could have been
I'm
jaded.
yeah, I'm happy it sounds like he kind of didn't like carry that into everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They look very just like ready to enjoy life to the fullest.
Yeah, they look like they had a lot of fun on cruises. I think
Yeah, you know, just
cruises,
look at
they
people and you're
probably
like,
were so much fun.
yeah, you're fun at parties, aren't you? You could just tell.
Yeah.
And I agree with their son Ryan Hawks, who said being on water for them was a solitude. It was seeing the curve of the earth and seeing the sunset fall right behind it every night. There was one picture of him, like just a shadow. Sorry, sorry for my if that triggered anyone's misophonia, as I just made a bunch of noises. I was trying to say a shadow, like a silhouette, I guess, of Tom fishing off the boat at night, and you could just see him in shadow. But I don't
Oh.
think I included that one.
No, I
But
don't see
anyway.
that. Boo.
Well, there was
No talking about pictures you don't include.
It was mostly shadows. But you could tell they like to like just the quiet life, maybe like fish off the boat or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. They would moor at moor. Yeah, that sounds weird when I say it, but I'm not a ship person. They were moored at Newport Beach, California.
Bobby Newport has never had a real job in his life.
Is that Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
It's Paul Rudd. Bobby Newport.
Oh, fuck yeah. He's such a fuck up in that one. Oh my
Just
God.
give me it. Give me it.
Why should we elect you? Because I want it. Yeah. God, he's so cute in the new Ghostbusters movies.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. It's behind the extra layer paywall of Prime.
Right, but you saw like the first one he was in. I just didn't realize there was a second one until Pat was like, "We're watching the new Ghostbusters," and I was like,
I thought it was coming out into theaters. I was so excited, and then I was like, "Oh shit, it's already on Prime. What's happening?"
Oh, okay. I guess yeah, it must have just went shoop right to that damn streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. And one of my favorite characters in that series is the guy they just called Podcast, and how when Dan Aykroyd was like, "Wait, you're the host of blah 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 blah," whatever his show's name is, he went, "You're my listener." Still my favorite line from the first one.
Oh no.
So cute.
Well, at least we achieved more. We have more than one listener.
Can you imagine though? Your one listener is Dan Aykroyd. I mean, come on.
That's pretty badass. I would be like, "Can I have your autograph?" And he'd be like, "Can I have your autograph?" I'd be like, "Oh."
Oh, yeah, they're cute movies. So the Hawks sailed up and down the west coast of Mexico for more than 2 years. When they came home when they heard that their grandchild had arrived, so they came home to meet their grandbaby Jace. Was his
cute?
Yeah, that must be the one in the picture.
Yeah.
And then I guess they did go back out onto their boat for a little bit, but at that point they had, enjoyed their time with their grandkids so much they decided they did want to be moored a little closer to home, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they decided to put their boat their yacht, well deserved, on the market to pocket the money. Or, oh yeah, I didn't write that sentence very well. They decided to sell it themselves to pocket the money without paying the middleman a commission, is what I was trying to write.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Real estate, they take a big commission. I don't know. They put an ad in Yachting World magazine.
Wow.
Is that how you say that?
I have no idea.
The word yachting looks so weird.
I think yacht is just an awful word.
Yeah, where do we get? Is this one of these words we took from
Yacht.
German? Yeah, why is it spelled yacht? I just realized what year we were in. November 2004.
I almost
I'm
mentioned it because on the baby one, it says like either September or March, but then it says like 200, and I couldn't make up the last
Does
of it because
it?
it's cropped out.
Oh my God, same year as your case.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
okay, weird. This one I was like almost done the notes, realized my like main source had not said a year. Didn't even know what year it was. I was just like, I think I'd heard about it on like a different podcast before, maybe once, but
Yeah.
um yeah, so anyway, a young man about 25 contacted them with a piqued interest in their ad, and he says he wants to buy their boat, and he's flush with cash from his child star days and his real estate success.
That's a little suspicious. But I guess it's 2004, so we don't think that way then, do we?
I got a wad full of money. He's a baller. A shot
Yeah.
caller. That's probably what we were thinking in 2004. Listening to, was it still Destiny's Child then, or was that Beyonce days?
I don't know. All I know is by grade 5, all I was listening to was Pussycat Dolls. Because they were searching for the next Pussycat doll. You remember that TV show?
Sort of. And I still like the
Yeah.
one girl, she's always hosting the Masked Singer, the Nicole Scherzinger one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I watched one video where it was funny when she kind of got upstaged by one of the other Pussycat dolls during performance, and she was so pissed.
Oh
It was
yeah,
like,
there was like whole things
"Meow,
about what you were
meow."
allowed to do or not to do to upstage her. Yeah, it's crazy.
Drama queen. I wonder if
Yeah.
that's why now, or I don't know if they're like touring or what, but she isn't on this season of Masked Singer. It's been Rita Ora instead.
Oh, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. A guest judge, quote unquote.
Hmm.
Okay, so yes, the guy wants to buy it. He's got the cash, and as you were right to point out, it's suspicious. And Tom, a former probation officer, is suspicious of this story of the cash.
Good. Good.
Yeah. Possibly sensing this, the potential buyer meets the couple, then with his pregnant wife and young infant daughter in tow, presenting a sort of family man type front.
Yes,
Which
just what
obviously,
every expecting father and pregnant wife wants. A yacht.
I know, and I realize I'm not very good at telling these things in an unbiased way. And that's just me.
It's very hard.
You know what? Canadian true crime, that host, I forget her name right now. But she is really good. She tries to make it like really unbiased, and I'm like, good for fucking you, because
Yeah.
especially when you're telling it to another person, like the two host format. I
You want to
can't
be
like,
like so gossipy about it, and then
well, and you can't just like keep your opinions out of it because you're like, come on, girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah. Negotiations ensue, and they agree on $435,000 price tag for the boat,
Damn. Buy a
It's like
house.
a fucking house. Yes. Buy a houseboat. And an additional $15,000 is made for some of the personal items inside the boat. I'm guessing like some furnishings and stuff that you might want to keep on the boat. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, I mean, if they're not gonna have a different boat, then what do they need that kind of stuff for?
yeah, like some of it's got to be stuff that's not bolted down and is like, here's a chair. I don't know. Or
Here's a
whatever.
chair. Here's one chair. $15,000, please.
Here's the boat. You don't get the anchors and you don't get the mast.
Or the motor, or the steering.
I don't know. What comes on a boat? I'm not a boating person. Do I look like a rich person to you?
I
Oh my
can't even
God.
afford to subscribe to Yacht World magazine.
Maybe you'll read the free stuff online.
It's behind a paywall. No.
Oh
Anyway.
no.
$2.99 a month.
Oh my God, don't get me started. Fucking, I like medium.com, but a lot of their stupid articles are behind a paywall now. And I'm just like,
Oh,
why?
shit. I used to like them too.
Yeah. And then anyway, I get pissed off. So the Hawks are happy now and they want to celebrate and take their boat out for like probably one last spin before they're going to have a final sail on it. But the buyer did call them and say that he wanted to take it out for like a test spin, a test sail to see how the motors and everything performed, I guess.
Yeah.
I've taken one test drive in my life. It was so stressful.
So have I. I
I'm
didn't
still
even want to
driving
go
the
on the
car, but it was
highway.
weird.
I didn't even
It's
want to go on the
weird,
highway,
right?
but like my dad and the salesperson basically made me. They're like, "Don't you want to know how it accelerates?" And I was like, "I don't know."
No.
I was like, "I
The
don't know
sales
where
guy
I
didn't
am."
come with us. He was just like, "Here, you and Pat want to go?" I was
Oh
like,
no, this
"Sure."
guy. No, this guy came. I think it was because of my age. I was what,
I get
19 or
this.
20 at the time.
And you're a woman. You could never afford to buy it on your own.
I don't even know how to drive.
What, me?
What's a car? What is this vehicle?
Little me drive a car.
Oh
Um,
my.
I can't drive a stick though, so until I can do that, I can't go on the Amazing Race.
Oh, I can't. I can sort of. My first car I had after I had my second car, I gave my first car back to my dad.
Okay.
And by then the transmission was starting to go and it wouldn't shift
Oh,
properly, so you had to, without a clutch, you had to manually shift like gears, and it was kind of along the same lines. You had
okay.
to do it at certain like kind of within certain speeds, and you had to shift down, shift back
Oh
up, and all that kind of
no.
stuff. And I drove it
That's not
for
good.
my second vehicle. It was getting repaired, so I drove that, my first vehicle, again like that for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and I got fairly good at it.
Oh my
And
God.
so I got like part of it down. I just didn't
That's
have to like
tough. It's a
brake and
whole other
clutch and that kind of
element.
stuff, but it was the shifting it like
Yeah.
down and up through speeds and that kind of stuff. So I know a little bit. I could.
My mom
But
tried with her old Ford F-150, and I drove it on the highway for a bit. Definitely,
yeah.
you know, I was like, oh, I went back in the lane, and it's like, you cut them off a bit. And I
Yeah.
was just like,
My
I don't
brother
want to
doesn't
do this
know
anymore.
how at all. Um,
The clutch,
so
it's a whole driving's hard. Okay, well, the
yeah.
clutch is an old thing. If we don't have to bring it into the mix, why bother?
Yeah.
Especially with some of us, like, don't always want to learn how to drive. Having to coax my kid into it, but that's not surprising. Me and my sister were kind of both like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And most people are nowadays. Most people just don't want to drive. It's so expensive, and it's
Yeah.
such a cause of like anxiety and stress and that kind of stuff. And a
Oh
lot of
yes, owning a
people,
car. It's been a financial stress for me since I had like my old car was. It didn't have payments. That was the one my mom gave me, and then it got kind of written off, which whatever. It was old and fucked up, and the
Yeah.
passenger door didn't work. But it's been a struggle since trying to own the SUV that I got. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
Between that and insurance and gas and everything, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, man. Don't get a bigger SUV if you don't think you need it, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to put my dog in there. And now I'm like, oh my God, gas is so much because I'm just driving to work every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so their friend Carter Ford, which sounds like a president, just
Kind of.
says he says he made plans to meet up with the Hawks later that night. But as darkness descended over Newport Harbor, I have a hard time with that. He got a troubling message from Jackie. It said, "Hey Carter, we don't know why we're not back at shore yet. We're still out here on the sea trial. We really don't know what's happening other than the fact that they're telling us that they're still sea trialing the boat," said Ford.
Oh.
Yeah. Jackie says they'll let him know when they get back to the harbor, but they never called. So when the sun rises, the Well-Deserved is moored back in Newport Harbor, but Tom and Jackie are nowhere to be found.
Oh, so they whoever it was returned the boat?
Yeah. Came back without him.
Weird. Didn't just leave it floating somewhere?
No.
Because isn't that
But
most
also,
of those ports and stuff have security and cameras and stuff? Because that should be expensive.
yeah, I don't know why you'd bring it back to the same harbor if you're not
Yeah. If you just
with.
supposedly murdered two people.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Ugh. So their 55-foot boat is there. They are missing in action, and their SUV is also gone.
Shit.
I guess it basically takes about a week though before then the friends and family are getting frantic because with the SUV gone, they kind of thought maybe they took off on a little joyride because they're getting rid of their boat and they're transitioning to a
What?
new time in their life. And
And can't make a phone call?
yeah, the way it read was that
Weird.
the alarm wasn't really raised until about a week later. Yeah, I know it's a little odd, but I don't know. The family asked the friend Carter Ford to cruise out to the Well-Deserved and dig around a little. I guess they're unable to from where they are. And when Ford steps aboard the normally meticulously kept yacht, his heart sinks. Um, when he was asked what first alerted you that something was wrong with the boat, he said, "The way it was left, not only was the boat sloppy, there was a white towel hanging out the porthole on the side. This does not look good." Then he sees a receipt with some telltale items listed, such as bleach, cleaning supplies, heavy-duty trash bags, and Tums.
And Tums. From my tummy. My tummy
Tums
dum
for your
dum.
tummy.
All this murder,
Exactly.
I need some Tums. From my little tummy.
Well, it said that the detective, David Bylington, knew immediately what he was looking at. A cleanup kit, said Bylington. Just
Yeah.
something in the back of my head said, well, if I was going to commit a murder, that would be my clean kit. I'd get bags to destroy evidence, clean up and down with bleach wipes, and maybe my stomach would be upset, so I would take some Tums.
Do Tums ever actually work for anybody? Question for listeners.
If you have real problems like murdering someone or fucking financial stress, no, they don't. You're just gonna get an ulcer.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Gordo,
or a
come
drinking
on.
problem, or both. Wait, oh Gordo, what are you doing?
It's right here.
Is he trying to comfort you? He can sense your stress.
Hi, baby.
Okay, all right, settle in, Gordo. I have a little bit more to go through, but we'll try to survive together. Family immediately files a missing persons report at this point. So the police start digging into the couple, the boat, the sail, and the buyer. So they learn that the buyer was one Skylar DeLeon, or DeLeon, I don't really know how to say his last name, and his wife
Ah,
Jennifer.
they look so nice.
Oh yeah, because there's a picture of them on there.
I thought this was like a different couple. I wasn't paying attention.
Yep, he came there with his pregnant wife and their small daughter and was like,
Yeah.
I'm cool. And then they were never seen again after he supposedly bought the boat.
Shit.
Hmm. Which is just, oh, so yeah, it's so diabolical that you could make yourself look like just the perfect family man just to scam someone. Or like,
Yeah,
not
because they
just,
look so sweet. They look like a sweet young couple with their child.
right? And like they had a kid. I'm not saying they didn't have a good relationship and they just, were doing this to whatever, dupe people, but like it's so fucked up to use your
Yeah.
kid in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had one child together and another on the way, but they weren't doing great financially. So that comes in the desperation, which I get. I get it. It's not
So
fun.
pretend to buy a yacht, but then leave the yacht and steal the car? What?
Just fucking take out a stupid loan and then try and make payments on it. Come on. Um yeah, like Jennifer was working as a hairdresser and they lived with her evangelical Christian parents in their garage, which was converted to an apartment. So, yeah, we're doing great. But I don't think that was their only avenue. You're right.
Yeah, but that doesn't equal murder. What the hell? People are so quick to be like, let's murder some.
The fact that you can think about that when you're making new life, you just have a new kid, is
Yeah.
is really bonkers for me to contemplate too. Yeah. So, funnily enough, Skylar's claim to fame and what he, I guess, told them was part of what he had some of the money from to buy the boat was that he'd worked as a child actor and appeared on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Damn it.
Mighty Morphin. I used to watch that, but every time I try to sing the theme song, I think I get it mixed up with the Ninja Turtles, so now I don't know which one's which.
I don't know. I watched too many different Power Rangers ones, so I don't even
I'm always
know
like,
which one I watched.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And then I'm like, Turtles in a Half Shell, Turtle Power. I'm like, that's not right.
It's a crossover.
Oh, God. So, Skylar was put under surveillance by a team that watched him and Jennifer, and an undercover who they outed by giving his name as David Moon. Dun dun dun. No.
David Moon. That's
Now
such
you
a
know.
fake name.
Right? Is that the fake name? I'll just put a picture of him up too. No, I don't have a picture. um, he followed them to like a church, I guess their regular local church, where they were so much regulars that they were seen cleaning the building, which they do this regularly. And I'm like, my mom used to clean her church that she went to. Like, I would think that would be a sign that you're a very good person that like cares about your
Yeah.
community and stuff, but not these guys. Um, Skylar is on probation for burglary in debt totaling around
Oh,
$87,000.
okay. It's not just normal desperation.
Yeah, not a couple payday loans. Like, I think that's why they're living in the parents' garage. Telling people he had been a star of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a bit of a stretch. He had only had two minor non-speaking parts in the show.
Oh, okay. I thought he had never even been on the show at all ever and was just fully
Oh,
lying about it.
oh no, he was
Okay.
just he wasn't a Power Ranger.
Well, I thought he was 100% a nobody. So.
Which, oh my god, every time after I wrote these notes and I was listening to the Neat Cast earlier, and Zach was doing a segment called "Is this a child or a drunk person?"
What?
Which
Was
was
it people
amazing.
topping? Was it just people topping? Talking?
Yeah, like he would read out kind of like a blurb about something someone did or whatever, and then be like, was that a drunk person or a kid? And one of them was like, ate the Power Ranger to help cure the infection. And I was like, that's gotta be a child, right? And it was like some sort of drunk adult.
I love
Pooped
it.
out a Power Ranger. And I was like, well, that's weird because I was going to talk about them later. Oh, it was a fun game, let me tell you. There's a very thin line between strange, thing the child does and drunken adult.
Unleash your child's brain. Be drunk.
I think one was like, wiped the counter with a piece of ham, washed the ham, and then ate it.
No!
I lost it. That was
It's
someone's
so
child.
gross.
It was someone's child.
So gross.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. None of this is funny, so I have to get in what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had been in that show and he had been in the Marines, I guess, because one source did call him a disgraced Marine. So I don't think he made it very far. That's
Shit.
tough, man. Mr. Bond was a Marine. He talks about it in one of his videos how it's like grueling, the like boot camp or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think this guy was that. So once called in for questioning, Skylar insists that he bought the boat legitimately. He admits to having cash for the big purchase from selling drugs, he says. All
$400,000, but you're $87,000 in debt. Fuck you. That math does not math.
It's not. They ask for more details, like, did anyone see you do the transaction with the couple? He says, no. Just out of the trunk of the car. No one
I
saw
just got
us.
$40,000 in a duffel bag, ready to go.
It was exchanged on a
The
bridge.
next yacht I see.
Yeah.
Like, what?
But it's all above board, he says.
Oh, overboard.
I know, I was like, more like I said. Boat puns. He says the couple wanted help setting up a Mexican bank account so they could buy a house in Mexico.
What?
To which I wrote, never mind that they take US money in Mexico just as easily as fucking pesos. People always be like coming to get foreign currency at the travel counter and they'd be like, should I take pesos or US cash? And we'd be like, they accept both. Like, up to you, man. I can't make all your decisions for you. Sorry.
Just take US cash then, because they screw you converting it both ways. Because when we went, like, we took, like, what did we do? Oh yeah, if you convert money, like, in Mexico, I think it was, you lose money. It was either Mexico or Cuba. Maybe it was Cuba.
There's lots of ways you can lose it. I mean, you can get
Yeah,
very bad
because
exchange rates at the airport.
our
and
dollar
stuff.
wasn't doing very good, so we lost money converting it. And then when we were coming back, they give you the equivalent, like, straight across. There's no, like, conversion rate, so we didn't get back, like, a higher amount.
Oh no.
And they're like, that's what we do here. And we're like, this is the fucking airport. Like, you guys are officials.
Look, I don't want these pesos anymore, but I don't want 20 pesos for like 20 cents Canadian or whatever.
Yeah, it was
stupid.
Yeah, instead of getting, like, the actual exchange rate back the other way, it was like, no, we give you, like, the exact same
We just
number.
pretend the currency is worth the same amount.
Yes, that's exactly what they do. was like, oh my god, no. Yeah, it was bad.
That's fucked up. That's gonna make me
Yeah.
spiral into something we watched earlier, where fucking Terrence Howard was at Oxford talking about fucking how the math ain't math, and then he was talking about quantum physics and shit. It was just like, whoa! I thought you were just an actor. Anyway, so okay, so yes, he said Skylar said that they were trying to get him to help them find a house or get a Mexican bank account so they could get a house in the San Carlos area near the Sea of Cortez because, he said, oh, they love that area because he just knows them so well.
Because they're selling the boat to spend more time with their family, but now they're moving to Mexico.
That's right, where their family
Yep.
is not.
Yep.
You're
Sounds about right.
following. You're
Yeah.
following.
Makes so much sense.
Then he drops a bombshell. He's got this all legit because he's been given power of attorney by them. So
What?
what are you gonna do? Boom.
What? He's a stranger.
I know.
Oh my god.
He drops a fairly legal looking document into the cop's hands, which they grab a copy of for further exam. And he then just basically categorically denies knowing the couple and or having anything to do with their disappearance.
Oh, so they just asked a random person on the street their name so they could give them power of attorney?
Well, you're buying our boat. Why don't we just sign over our lives to you? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even stranger, seeming to support his story, the Hawks' phone pinged near the Mexican border the day after the test run. So the detectives were like, okay,
Well,
weird, but let's dig in deeper.
that's not anything. That's a phone pinging.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a person.
Yeah.
They put the missing couple's son's face on TV to drum up attention for the case. They're like, hey, he and his brother are good looking guys. Why not? Get them out there. Like,
Show some more pictures of the shirtless dad. All these pictures.
He's good looking.
He is. It's insane.
I mean, I don't know. Tom
They're
Selleck
so
might not be
tanned.
right, but it's very 80s. Yeah. He's got a big chest. I was like, and it's
He
scary
looks
me
like he
because
should be a fucking Marine. He looks intense.
exactly. Or an ex-cop. You're like, okay, ex-parole officer. Like you can tell he's in some sort of law enforcement. And that's
Yeah.
the scary part to me is that like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm lulled into a false sense of security. Here, I have my partner's, ex-military. I'm always like, oh, like he's tough, right? And he is, but like, they were a couple together on a boat, and like they still went missing. So like, you feel
Yeah.
like, are you ever fucking safe? You know what I mean? Even if we,
Yeah,
single or
Jesus.
together.
And he was already suspicious of it to begin with. So like he was
I
probably watching
know.
for stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
they must have
really.
been completely caught off guard.
I know this one. It's like it bugs me how it went down. You're like, ugh. How could
Yeah.
this have happened? Okay, so they get a tip. The police get a tip from an American living in Mexico. He was watching the news and saw the news peaks about the couple's missing SUV, and he's like, "Well, damned if I'm not looking right at this outside my house."
Oh shit.
Yeah, and it's parked near a house where he lives now in Ensenada, Mexico. So, not in the US, but this is a month after the incident. So, cops then coordinate, they get the Mexican federales or whatever to actually go to see the house where the car is. Um, and the man in the house doesn't speak very much English, but he definitely mentions the name Skylar and Jennifer. Um, and he says he knows Skylar from being old surfing buddies, and he had just given him the car and then had Jennifer pick him up and drive him home afterward.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good job, Skylar.
That was a good way to get rid of that.
I don't know where this power of attorney thing comes in, though. That's so weird.
It is. Yeah, it does. It does. They swabbed the knobs, even though there was a slim
Oh,
possibility of getting any DNA at this point. But as luck would have it, they got some off the heating dial, and it was Skylar's.
good.
Uh, yeah. Orange County Senior Deputy District Attorney Matt Murphy is now convinced Skylar did something terrible to the Hawks. Um, they run down every lead, talking to the notary who says that she saw the Hawks sign the form, because that's what a notary does. They witness it and whatever,
Yeah.
stamp it. But she struggles when describing the couple, especially Jackie, saying that she has curly, darker hair.
Oh, she
Which.
very much does not.
So, like, she has naturally sort of a brownish hair, but
With frosted tips.
it's cut and dyed blonde lately in
She
a
got
spiky pixie style. Exactly.
frosted tips.
Frosted tips. Oh my god, have you watched there's a movie out called Unfrosted about the cereal
Oh, no.
giants?
No.
Hilarious. Fucking
Really?
Gaffigan, Jerry Seinfeld, Melissa McCarthy, Amy
Yeah.
Schumer, all the people, all the things. It's good. So yes, so she describes her with her hair a little differently. Um, Experts examine the signatures, of the power of attorney document, and they appear as real as the fingerprints on it. But Jackie seemed to have actually written her last name as Jackie Hawk, not Jackie Hawks, and the S had been added by a different hand later.
Ooh. You're
So,
like, this is different pen.
right,
Dun,
different
dun,
handwriting. You
dun.
can tell the ink's, lighter or whatever. So that was weird. Meanwhile, back in the USA, Skylar calls his parole officer to ask if he can just leave the country. No, you can't.
You've already been
Um,
down to Mexico. You've already left the country multiple times and he didn't catch you before. Why are you asking now?
Because he's dumb. Yes, that puts the red flags up, and I'm sure the parole officer then tells the DA or whatever, because then they hatch a plan to get him into custody before he can do anything stupid like run. So they will arrest him on the charges of money laundering, which he had told the cops about during his initial interrogation. For now,
But what
isn't
money
it?
is he laundering? He's in debt.
Yeah, I don't really understand, other than he had told them he got the money for the boat from drugs, so he then maybe told them he laundered it, I think is what it said.
Weird.
I mean, it's all lies. And this is a fun fact. They said as he was being cuffed, they happened to notice that he was wearing adult diapers.
What? Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
I know! The only thing I can think of is that weird case where the astronaut lady drove a bunch of miles to confront the other one in the love triangle, and she wore Depends because she didn't want to stop to pee.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Other than that, why? I don't have an
Jesus.
answer for you.
That was like the last thing I expected you to say.
I know. I was like, what? And then they just moved on, and I was like, okay, well.
Tell
They
us
said
about your bladder, bro.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes I want to wear those more podcasting, because you know me, I'm all, oh, wait, I gotta pee. They also said Jennifer got all aggravated during his arrest. So.
Oh, did she?
Apparently. Oh no,
You
not my man.
you can take your child onto the yacht or whatever and witness two people get murdered, presumably with blood around if you needed bleach, but God forbid they see their father get arrested.
Right? Oh, it's just her. She's pregnant. It's all those hormones. In the couple's abode, they did find the other couple's camera. So the Hawks' camera, their driver's license, among other personal belongings.
Really? Oh, they're stupid.
Right? Like, so dumb. They did note that, as it showed on the driver's license of Jackie, that her hair was still a little bit longer, maybe a little bit darker in the photo, as like the notary had noted. So it's just
Uh,
like, you know how your driver's license can be up to 4 years out of date picture wise. It's like, yeah,
she was
she's
just trying to match that.
working off an old picture. She never saw them in real life. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They also found an LAPD officer's card, and it turns out that in this case, the detective was then, they said, quote, assigned to us as a liaison with Interpol, said Matt Murphy. So, as it turns out, they had had an investigation into Skylar as well already.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. It was begun over a year prior when an American citizen was murdered in Mexico.
Ugh. Really?
Yep. Murphy, boistered by the new information and input, has a hunch. So he calls his old pal from Indonesia, Salty Sam. Sounds like a fucking detective novel. So says Matt Murphy to Salty Sam, Sam, what's up, dog?
Is this the DC universe where everybody has to have alliteration names?
Yes, and then if you tell someone your name, like, I just like that line in the one Marvel movie where Peter Parker meets Doctor Strange, and he's all, I'm Peter Parker, and he's like, I'm Doctor Strange. He's like, oh, we're using our made up names. Spider-Man. Okay, but no, this is the quote. I'm like, hey man, what should we be looking for on a boat if we're trying to figure out if there was a murder committed? And without skipping a beat, he said, look for missing anchors, said Matt Murphy. Yes. And indeed, in every photo for their ad in the yacht magazine, they had 2 anchors, yet the boat was missing one now.
Damn.
They knew they were getting close, and they zeroed their focus in on Jennifer. When they obtained video footage, video footage of her in the bank walking up to the teller with a big shit-eating grin, and that's when she was trying to withdraw from the Hawks' bank account. So the manager had then demanded to see the Hawks themselves, as she was familiar with what they looked like and didn't like this, so that didn't work.
Oh, good for her.
Exactly. So they had never been able to actually take any money out, and this actually was like a nail in her coffin, because now they could book her as an accomplice with this evidence also.
Good. Well, I'm happy like somebody knew that wasn't Jennifer.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Or that was Jennifer and not Hawks.
They're like, you're not Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good for them. So now they lean into Jennifer in her interrogation. They offer her immunity, but she declines. She's approximately 7 months pregnant now, and I think the detective said she basically told us to go pound sand. Like, love won out. Or like young love, he said, or something. I was like, oh god. So yeah, he's
my baby daddy. He's not gonna go against me.
Right? Like, she's fucking loyal to him to a fault now. So they come at it another angle. These cops are just like going for it. They found another name in the document that was a witness named Alonso Machine, I'm guessing. And Alonso works at Seal Beach. Sorry. I don't have very many fun things in this, so I really like the name Seal Beach. He works at Seal Beach Jail as a guard. where he met Skylar when he was in for burglary. Fun. They try to bring this Alonzo in for questioning, and he just bolts. He takes off to Mexico, but Murphy is hot on his tail. So he gets to him and then offers him a deal. If he will cooperate, the death penalty will be taken off the table if he talks, basically.
The death penalty for signing a document?
Well, he's obviously involved in this possible homicide, so I know. I did question that too. I thought, wow, he would
That's
get
excessive
too. But whatever you're gonna do to make him talk, right? I mean,
yeah.
And he did. He talked and he talked and he told of a third guy, which you're not gonna believe this guy. His name. He was a quote notorious gangbanger named John F. Kennedy.
Oh my god. Is that the black dude? Like,
yes! He did end up being the black dude, and I did not know that until I looked up pictures at the end. I just thought his parents had high hopes, and they were sorely disappointed.
I was like, I was just gonna say, there's no way the one guy is John F. Kennedy and that black dude is Alonzo.
Right? Although, yeah, Alonzo. Anyway, I don't know. I kept wanting to call him Alfonso. What do I know?
Damn.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I didn't even bother.
Those
trying to
three
Google
mugshots, like
John
side
F.
by
Kennedy.
side, look so. You look like that these people have never interacted in their lives. It's so weird.
Yeah, like fucking elite criminal organization. This is not.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
No, I don't know what they're doing. They're flailing about like Gordo behind your laptop. But that's it. It is crazy though that they like got away with this shit. Oh yeah, shit. I forgot the funnest part about that. Rather.
So he was also wearing diapers? No.
Depends what you mean. No, depends. I put, rather than a founding father or president, he is the leader of a gang called the Long Beach Insane Crips.
We're not the regular Crips. We're the insane Crips.
Is that not just trying a little too hard? Machine says that before he, DeLeon, and Kennedy board the Well-Deserved, DeLeon gives him strict orders. That's Skylar. I don't know. Whatever. That's why I stopped saying his last name because I didn't know how to say it, but this is from a quote. The plan is that we were supposed to kidnap them and take them out to sea and toss them overboard. And how was he planning to do that? Tasers. He thought of tasers. Machine says once out to sea, they set their plan in motion. Kennedy pretends to be seasick and goes down below into the cabin. Then Tom goes below out of concern for Kennedy, and Skylar follows and they ambush him. So they get him on the ground, but it's not quiet, and Jackie hears the commotion and yells down to see what's going on. So then up top, that's when Alonzo acted fast by subduing her with the taser. So she goes down, he cuffs her, and then he's told to grab tape and put it over like both of their mouths and eyes, I guess. So they bring her downstairs, they put them together, and it's just gonna get worse from here, and I'm sorry. Quote, Jackie Hawks is crying and screaming through the piece of cloth over her mouth. And Alonzo says the only thing he can see is Mr. Hawks stroking her hand with his fingers, the handcuffed hands, trying to calm her down, and rightly so, because I know Tom Hawks knows what's going to happen, says Byington.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, and he was just trying to be so strong for her. They had them one by one go up to the kitchen area where she was first. They had her sign a power of attorney. Skylar told them, I'm going to let you go if you cooperate. If you don't, we're going to kill you here, says Byington. Alonso Machine, says DeLeon, then heads to the cockpit and punches coordinates into the GPS to steer straight towards the deepest part of the ocean near Catalina Island. Which is just off the coast. So I wouldn't think it'd be that deep, but... They are led back up top and tied together, and they are blindfolded by the tape as well, like I said. Then the couple can just hear the anchor, the dragging of the anchor and its chain as it's brought up onto the deck. Oh, sorry. Jackie's just pleading for their lives. She's just saying how she's too young to die and she just wants to see her grandchild again. And Tom is just being strong for her and just telling her how they're going to be together. And then Skylar picks up the massive anchor and throws it overboard. I'm sorry. The brand new grandparents were still alive when the 50-pound anchor plummeted to the bottom of the sea, dragging the helpless couple 3,600 feet straight down.
Jeez.
That's horrifying. Yeah, this one was hard. Then he just starts like jettisoning all their belongings, just throwing them all overboard, all their personal belongings, just anything he didn't want.
Weird.
Then he's like apparently so calm. They said Skylar was just, or like this one guy was Ansel, whatever the fuck his name is. He's so calm. And then they start to fishing as they head back to Newport Beach. So they're just like, oh, might as well get some fishing in. So we're coming back.
Wow.
Yeah. And once they found the men, now all the 3 men and Jennifer were charged with 2 counts of murder, first degree in the cases of the men who were on board, and they are all tried separately. A quote about Jennifer: she's a witch. She knew that they had no money, and yet she's going out to meet the people that are selling Skylar this yacht, and she's bringing her child, said Byington. She might as well have tied the anchor to those people and thrown them over too.
Yeah, she had to have known.
Oh, very much aware.
She know he don't got money to be buying a fucking yacht.
Yeah, let's go see about this yacht I'm gonna buy, honey. Like, no.
She's like, we got bills. The electricity's gonna get turned off. We're buying a yacht. We don't have a house. Let's buy a yacht.
Bills, gotta pay my automobiles. No, I would, but Pat wanted to get a better car recently because he's always got his cars paid off and whatever. And like, yeah, I'm like, I'll go with you to like see about a car or whatever. But it's like, yeah, because I know you are just gonna look, and if you can't afford it, you're not gonna like try.
Yeah. He's not gonna come back with a yacht.
Yeah, you're not gonna like kill the fucking people at the dealership. So, but yeah, all 3 are thankfully found guilty.
Just punch Gordo in the head.
Gordo's also found guilty.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jennifer is sentenced to life in prison. Alonso Machine is given leniency and sentenced to 20 years.
Really? No.
Yeah. Oh, because he talked, right? So he's got a little bit of a deal. But John F. Kennedy is sentenced to death for the double murder. Death penalty not off the table for him.
Damn.
And just to wrap this all out, as we try to close this out here, before we just got one final twist, before Skylar DeLeon's trial even begins, he's hit with a 3rd murder rap. He not only murdered the Hawks, but he slit the throat of another American in Mexico a year earlier, said Byington. So that's the other case that they were working on.
Okay. Good.
The liaison was working on. Quote, cops say DeLeon slit the throat of a man named John Jarvie after luring him with a promise of turning an investment of $50,000 into more cash. Prosecutors say there was no deal. The motive for the murder was all for fun. They purchased a new car because they wanted something to tool their little brood around in, said Matt Murphy. Oh, God. And then he made a bunch of internet purchases, including a $658 piston-driven sex toy.
What the
Still
fuck?
haven't Googled that, but kind of want to. It sounds like a machine, like.
Yeah.
Okay. But maybe that ties in.
To the diapers?
No! Ugh. This is all so confusing. No, it's something, but, well, something else about Skylar. So, it said nearly 5 years after the Hawks were murdered, Skylar DeLeon faces trial, and I don't want to lose sight of that because they, are the victims here. But after he was on April 10th, 2009, found guilty, sentenced to death, there was another motive that cropped up and mentioned in Skylar's case, a possible motive for the theft, the need for the money, which was that he desired gender affirming reassignment surgery, actually.
Really?
Or so said crime author Caitlin Ruther, who wrote a book about the killings called Dead Reckoning. Which I have to say is never not an awesome title.
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning. That sounds cool. Yeah, he allegedly needed $17,000, and I'm not making that up, and I always make up the 17,000 part. This time it really was 17,000 dollars, and he had already put down a $500 deposit on this surgery, also apparently.
Okay, so like that part's true.
Apparently, he even had the surgery scheduled for 2 weeks after their murders. So,
Weird.
yeah, he put a deposit down, didn't have the money, killed them. Allegedly.
Huh.
And this crime writer lady with the book, Caitlin Ruther, said that he became obsessed with getting rid of his penis. And I'm sorry if this is, trigger warning to anyone. It's all really weird, and I'm, hopefully not trigger warning to trans people in general, but I guess in jail he made an attempt of some sort to cut off his penis with a razor.
Shit, that's not good. You bleed out.
No, and I don't know what any of this like other than the motive. I guess it just came out, but I don't know. It came up, so I had to talk about it. So as a direct result of that, he is sitting in a psych ward on death row at San Quentin. San Quentin.
Good old San Quentin.
But apparently the procedure is going ahead at the expense of the... Oh, I put prison, but I meant like state, because,
Yeah, taxpayers.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just I'm just coming to the end of this craziness. It's ridiculous, said Byington. There are legitimate people out there with transgender issues that work their tails off their whole life. If they are lucky enough to get a surgery, Skylar doesn't deserve that right. Skylar doesn't get to kill people and then get rewarded, and that's kind of the way it feels, and I kind of have to agree with him on that part. I don't love that.
Yeah.
But I, can't say that I've been in that situation either. But Skylar and his wife have since divorced while he's been behind bars. He continues to maintain he had nothing to do with the Hawks' death and has appealed his conviction. That's basically the last I could find on any of their cases. I mean...
So what was Skylar sentenced to then? You said Jennifer was sentenced to life in prison. What was he sentenced?
Skylar's on death row too. He's on death row,
okay.
but in psychiatric... in the psych ward on death row, it said.
Weird.
Yeah. And that wasn't even... The original case I was going to cover was this other couple called Kathleen Brandel and Ralph Hendry, who went missing off their catamaran called the Simplicity in February of this year. But And that one's bound to be a crazy one too when everything comes settled, because they were docked in St. Lucia, and their boat was found abandoned and apparently in some disarray. And when the couple were nowhere to be found, then they linked it to 3 escaped prisoners that were being held in South St. George's police station, and they are now being charged in the case, but they have not found the bodies. So I wonder
Jeez.
if the same thing maybe with the anchors, that they just maybe won't find the bodies. But that one I
Yeah.
couldn't find much more information on because it only happened in like February of this year. So then it like
Yeah.
linked me to the other one, and then I was like, wow, well, this one's crazy.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Like, they just wanted to sell their boat so that they could spend more time with their growing family.
Right?
And
Yeah, and as he must have been so on his guard in his work as a probation officer so many times, having to deal with criminals and stuff, that like maybe he just was like, I'm getting retired. I can maybe let my guard down a little bit. Like, I'm not
fuck.
every day dealing with these crazy, stupid criminals anymore. And then in the end, they fucking 3 of them end up overtaking the 2 of them. It's just like, oh, and you're so smart, and you guys both look like you'd be so strong, and like as a couple could try and fight people off, but
Yeah.
not always.
Yeah, they both do look like, I don't know, they just look like a typical vacationing couple.
Right? You're like, this is the kind of 80s pictures you see in everybody's like photo album or whatever. Like,
Damn.
I like the picture when they get married and they're like, I don't know, just kind of like relaxed. Like people are in like Hawaiian shirts sort of deals kind of thing.
Yeah, he's got a very colorful shirt and she's wearing like red.
Yeah. It's very
Has
cute.
like, she has cute little flowers in her hair, which I really like.
Yeah, they just look nice.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, that's my case. Sorry. I think they covered it on Wine and Crime or something. It sounded very familiar once I got into the meat of it, but
I hadn't heard it before, but
really? Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to have to do that to you. Yours was also horrible.
Yeah, right? Frick.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Well, what did we decide we're doing next time?
I think I convinced you to do some celebrity conspiracies.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a little bit more of a lighter one than the regular conspiracy episodes we usually do.
Yeah, there's some fun ones. I wanna try and find something I haven't heard before.
Who's real? Who faked their death? Yeah. There's definitely a few to choose from. Yeah. And then back for our 150th. So if you guys have any ideas, drop it in the comments.
Yeah. You can let us know.
Exactly. Maybe we'll feature your segment or your question or your whatever. Your topic if you let us know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got to put ourselves to bed, so till next time. Keep it cryptic.
Yeah, bye.
Well, all our longtime listeners will definitely know that recording a podcast is not always easy. Nope. So you better believe, like, when we find something we like, that we're gonna probably stick to it and not look for anything else. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Zencaster. When we tried it, we were like, okay, finally, I wanted to have the video, and it's up to 4K video, which is pretty effing cool. I can see every pore on Kelsey. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not.
But it's a great video, and like just really easy on this one. So like once we stopped recording on our phones, I was like, yeah, this is the one for us. So even though sometimes our computers fuck up, it always comes through for us in the end, because we've never lost like a recording, knock on wood, and every time we've had to use it, it's just been really great and really easy, and everything's just recorded when we wanted it to, which is, it's a lot to ask for when you podcast as much as we do.
Yeah. It's nice that each of us has our own separate audio recording that you can download and edit. So it makes when one of us
What?
is
Not us.
doing something or has something, it's easy. You can edit that out even with the other person was talking because you have two separate tracks that you can edit. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we love Zencaster. Definitely, it makes it a lot easier. And the audio quality is also a lot better than any of the other programs we tried using in the past.
Yes, it is the best. So go to zencaster.com/pricing and use my code cryptic, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan.
We want you to have the same easy experience as we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Keep it cryptic.
Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon: cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your host making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.